Color grading is one of those steps that adds the final touches to the look of a film. And so when a colorist changes the colors, he specifically changes the colors to enhance the film in a way that he sees fits and that he personally thinks will make the footage better. Because as we all know, color grading is subjective. Or is it? And just like that, with a sudden re-questioning, I started questioning every movie that I'd ever watched ever. And I started noticing a pattern. Now before we go more into details, we need to understand what color grading is. Color grading is not color correction. These two are usually mixed together, and although there are two steps for the same goal, they're not the same thing. Color correction is taking the colors of the footage and make it look natural again, as it was intended to be seen. Now some people like to use natural picture profiles as they don't need to correct the footage right out of the gate. The problem with natural picture profiles is that once the colors are created, they are baked in, so you don't have much flexibility in terms of correction. Something that can help with color correction is using a log picture profile, or what people like to call a flat picture profile. Although not all cameras will have a built-in log profile, you can find many cameras that do have a flat picture profile. Now, a big misconception is that flat picture profiles are used to be able to change the colors more easily. But in actuality, flat picture profiles are mostly used to retain as much dynamic range from a camera. The extra details adds flexibility to what an editor can do to the footage. Now, before doing any type of grading, it is very important to correct the colors back to normal. If you are using a log picture profile, it might be a good idea to get a log to Rec 709 LUT. Rec 709 basically means normal colors. So if you're shooting with your camera with no picture profiles, then chances are that you're shooting in a Rec 709 profile. Color grading is changing the colors of a scene to your liking. The colors don't have to be realistic, but something that I would say is important is it must be pleasing to the eyes. Think about it kind of like an Instagram filter. Essentially, every time you add an Instagram filter to one of your pictures, then you're color grading your pictures. Now they say that art is subjective, but that doesn't mean that there isn't any bad art. There are things that are very clearly creative, as well as things that, although people would say subjective, are just plain out bad. This is why in art there are very defined steps and techniques that are added to make a better product. The same way that in filmmaking there's the 180-degree shutter rule, there is also a quote that is commonly phrased among filmmakers that is, "There are no rules to filmmaking." So it's not that you can't break the rules, it's that you must first learn how to master the rules before you can start to break them. So yes, you could make a video while breaking the 180-degree shutter rule. Matt Alonso, a famous music video director, is a great example as he commonly uses shutter speed higher than 1/50th of a second for his music videos as a stylistic choice. Ford vs Ferrari also used a shutter speed that was lower than 1/50th of a second in the night scenes. It's not that you can't break the rules, it's that you must first know why you are breaking them before you can break them. Now different colors will emit different feelings, and our goal when color grading is to enhance the feelings of the footage. In music, you have many styles like country, rap, and hip hop. Now whether you like them or not, that is subjective. But in grading, whether you like the orange look or not, it doesn't matter. Because it's not about picking your favorite color, it's about picking the right color that enhances the mood of the film. That is color grading at its finest. But that would also mean that color grading wouldn't be subjective. So when you add warm tones to a golden hour image, it is not a subjective choice, as you're only choosing to enhance the footage. So you don't pick the colors for the film picked the colors for you. Let me explain. This is a very normal scene, and without context, the scene is actually very boring. But without context, that would also mean that I could change the scene to whatever I want it to be. Now if we change the colors in a certain way, we can change the context of the scene as we go. If we have a desaturated image, now we have a more dead and apocalyptic look. Warm and vibrant colors give a happier look, and cold colors are more sad and depressing. These are common types of grades that can be seen throughout movies. The Walking Dead uses desaturated colors, Bumblebee used warm and vibrant colors, and in the beginning of John Wick, it has cold colors. All of this goes to show how I did not choose the emotions that the colors gave me, but the different colors did give me an emotion. Now the idea is that you're supposed to change the colors that fits the film. This is why I don't think that color grading is subjective, even though it is an art. As when you're color grading, you're only amplifying the feelings that are already given to you. So that would mean that it's not a subjective choice, as the only choice you are given is if you want to make it better or not. So even though the options are limitless, the choice is actually binary. So it's settled then, color grading isn't subjective. Well, not so fast there, Billy. So I've told you that the colors of a scene are decided by the footage. But what if the footage is subjective? That is where YouTube comes into play. You see, I've told you that if a scene is sad, you should add emphasis on cold colors to enhance the film. But what if the film is you? Kinda like this. Like me talking to you, me as a character, as a YouTuber. And the examples of this on YouTube are endless. Sam Kolder, who is an easy example, uses the iconic teal and orange color grade to make his films more epic. He could use more gritty colors or more natural colors, but he instead specifically chooses the teal and orange in his films. And so in his case, the choice of teal and orange would be subject to his own choosing. Becky and Chris are known for more dark and moody colors, Aiden Robbins is known for more minty greens, and Gerald Undone is known for purple, because purple. The thing with YouTubers is that they can choose the grade that reflects their style and their brand. The video doesn't choose the colors for them, they choose the colors for the video. And so that is where we see color grading finally becoming a subjective choice, as when an influencer grades their footage, they might as well pick their favorite color and it would still work as it would fit their style and them as a character. Essentially, when you do a film about someone, you pick the colors that define that someone. But if that someone is you, then you can pick the colors for yourself. Thus, now you would have a subjective choice. I think it's important to understand when color grading is a subjective choice and when you must follow the guidelines to a certain look. Understanding what colors will emit what feelings is very important, and knowing when to use which colors is even more important. But at the end of the day, if we can all enhance our footage to make it with better colors, then I think we succeeded.